Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ryan Ride Mechanic channel. How the heck are you doing today? Alright, today is the first of many Mammoth updates, or maybe just one Mammoth update. I don't know. Depends on my schedule and how often I get out there. Anyways, it's a Mammoth update. So Fun Plex Park out here in Omaha, Nebraska. Let's take a look at it.
Now get ready. Here we go.
Okay, so if you're tuning in, that means you like coming back to my channel, or if it's your first time here because you saw Mammoth in the title and it's like, what's going on? That's my home park. Welcome. Okay, so since this is my closest local home park too, I decided to do I'm going to be doing some video updates about their Mammoth roller coaster install. So it's going to be pretty interesting. Can't wait to see all the exciting things that are going to happen here. Now, we are about 3 weeks out, roughly, is what they told me, from the track actually getting to the park and getting ready for some sort of things that happen. So today I showed up there just unannounced, uninvited, everything else, just walked around the outside and took some pictures of what's going on. Now, if you are local in the area, there is no fencing up around this park, but have at least a common courtesy not to trespass on their property. Come on, folks. Let's not do that sort of stuff. So, first thing I thought about, let's start here with an aerial overview. This is Google Earth we're looking at right now. Now, this is obviously a very old picture. This is a couple of years old, so there's some stuff on here that, not being at this park all the time, I might be saying, oh, they changed this, when in fact it's been changed for 2 years already, so I apologize if I do that. Other things people can help me out at. All right, so as I pulled in off the street, went down 72nd Street and pulled in off 70th Street here over on the side, where all the work is happening in the park right now, kind of everywhere is working going on, but the park is really tore up right now. But basically, it's way over here on the north end. This whole north end of the park is all torn up and backwards and disheveled out there. So I pulled up here on 70th Street. Basically, if I zoom in here, I pulled up right here, roughly, I think right about here, next to where the tilt-a-whirl would be. Tilt-a-whirl is not there anymore. So it's just a big dirt area. There is actually a building going in right there right now, and it looks like a big open building, so hopefully maybe that's a shaded area, maybe some sort of dining or something going in there, or maybe just a picnic bench spot to sit. That would be nice. And then off over across from the tilt-a-whirl is where the wipeout would be. Basically, the wipeout sat right over here in this corner. All of this area is completely torn up. It's all dirt. Everything's been removed. So looking at there, it's like noticing, okay, tilt-a-whirl is gone there. The wipeout is gone there. It's all just dirt area, everything there. But, you know, standing at that lot looking straight across, I could see the balloon Ferris wheel is still there. Okay, so if we move to the north side here, and again, this is Q Street here, and let's see, what is that, 69th Street, right over here. I pulled in this parking lot basically right over here next to the Crazy Cars. And I parked right here in front of the bumper boats area. The pool, of course, is drained this time of year. And basically the entire go-kart track has been removed. And off to the far northeast corner, this is where the giant concrete pad for Mammoth is sitting. Now, it's a big concrete slab sitting over there. It looks to be at least 6 to 8 inches thick. At least by the side it does. There was a person there digging out, putting in electrical lines at the time. So they have part of the slab exposed right there on the side. It looks to be about a 6 to 8 inch slab of concrete, which is pretty good size for a ride sitting on top of it. We had a traveling ride put into my last park that was sitting on a pad just like that, and it was only sitting on 4-inch concrete, pretty lightweight. But and that was a lot bigger than Mammoth is going to be. So Mammoth has a pretty good pad sitting there to go on. Now, one thing I noticed is that from the aerial shot here, right here, across from the bumper boats, right where this curve would be right here, This is actually where they put the tilt-a-whirl in. They're putting the tilt-a-whirl in right here. It's got a nice new foundation for it, and they're starting the erection process there of the tilt-a-whirl. And then just across the way, out over here in this area, there is the wipeout that's actually going to, it's sitting there. I don't know if it's going to be installed right there, but it looks like it's being set up. So I'm going to assume that the wipeout is officially going to be installed right here where this kind of bend is in this track right here. Now, they did say they were redoing the go-kart track in those plans, I believe it was. So I don't see anything like that, but go-kart tracks are easy to do. There's really not much to them. Just some asphalt and a bunch of tires sitting around the outside. Not typically a lot of work, not a big deal. But a lot of parks are actually getting rid of their go-karts, so maybe they might part ways with them, because that's a lot of work to put in for those things. Since I had the electrical guy there, they were doing some, not the electrical guys, but since I had the groundwork guys there, they were working off in the corner here of this little pump house hut for the bumper boats, and they were pulling a bunch of new conduits in, and there's a transformer right back off over here. They're pulling new conduits for power in over here, so the power for the ride will be right there. So which means we should have, that will be the distribution point for the ride. If that's the case, that means they'll probably have to make another run out to the control panel, depending on if they put another transformer in there on the spot. Since the ride is coming from Europe, it's coming from Italy, a lot of times what you have to do is you have to, on a lot of rides I've dealt with anyways from Italy, you have to step the voltage down just a little bit more to a European voltage typically. The last one we did, it was, we went from 480, we had one that was at 400, and then one that was at 390. Those are the voltages this thing ran. So they required a smaller transformer to be set in on the premise somewhere to feed that. But these days I would not be surprised at all if it was simply just ran off of 480 to make sure all the voltages were same across the board. So there's definitely a lot of construction going on out there. Everything is torn up, and I would like to head back another day and maybe go inside the park and ask if I can walk around the inside of the park and take some pictures there. Again, I don't want to be in an area where I'm not supposed to be, so I'm definitely going to stay out of that. Anyways, this is a really quick Mammoth update. Again, 3 weeks-ish roughly from now, so probably mid to late April, we might actually start seeing steel on the premise there for the ride, which should be pretty cool. So keep you updated when it comes in. Hopefully be the first of many, can't talk today. This will be the first of many Mammoth updates. All right, I'm Ryan the Ride Mechanic. Stay off the air gates. Bye.